So welcome to today's episode where we're going to chat about, so you should be seeing this at the beginning of January. Most of us are feeling like junk at this point. We've probably eaten a little bit too much over the holiday season. We probably want to go straight into some kind of dieting phase, lose some body fat, lose the bloat. So today we're going to be chatting about what some of the biggest mistakes you might be making and how to make this first month the most effective we possibly can, really. So I feel like junk right now. Gained £10. Obviously, I haven't because we filmed this before January. But
Before Christmas, I'm about
yeah. I've gained £10 over Christmas and New Year. So
this is a quick episode. So join Elite Physique Training. Click the link in our bio. Get your consult call.
shameless plug.
Exactly. No. So what I have seen and would see over the years is it's not even just about January. It's just about in general. But I guess it holds a little bit more relevance to January is dropping your calories too soon, especially when you've come from Christmas, and a lot of us are in the US. You've had Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, onto New Year's Eve, probably New Year's Day, and then in between that, I know lots of us, or I used to have like work dues, family events, drinks. So your calories have gone from just putting random numbers out in the sky. You would normally eating 2,500, that's an average for a man. With all the drinks and all the food and all that, your average is now 4,000 calories, and probably sometimes even more. So you're at 4,000 calories heading into January. You go, cool, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to drop down to 2,000 calories. You've just dropped half of your calorie intake. That is a massive drop. Whereas if you dropped it gradually, and it could be 500, 400, even that's 10%, you're going to see fat loss. Get back into routine, you're going to see fat loss. So it's about being steady and stable and just making gradual progress rather than trying to get it all off instantly, because it won't happen. What happens is you plateau, you stall, and then you have to do something else to change it, which often is increasing your cardio, reducing your calories further. And then what I find, you get down to the bottom and it becomes harder, especially when you're a lifestyle client, when the goal is not as big, not as important, or is relative to different people, but you're not going to stand naked on stage. So It's a bit different. So what you find, if you've gone down from 4,000 to 2,000 to 1,500, now it's very difficult to maintain this. I'm cheating on my diet. I'm not enjoying it. It's not fun. Why am I doing this? And then, we go from there.
I think from a coaching perspective, it's trying to make sure that you're doing as little as you possibly can to get the most out of what you're doing at the moment, so that we're holding back some stuff at the start. It's not, okay, we're going to pull your calories down straight away as low as we can. We're suddenly going to, increase your cardio massively. It's, okay, what's the smallest change we can make for the biggest results to start off with? So then that means in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever time, we've still got tools.
Exactly.
We've got room to move. We can add a little bit more cardio. We can increase your step count if we want to. We can reduce your calories a little bit if we want to. Otherwise, what's going to happen with the person that's suddenly gone like that from day one is that come week 4, week 5, week 6, whatever, they're going to be feeling it, they're going to crash, whatever, they're going to be losing muscle tissue too soon, etc. And they're ultimately not going to be getting the end result. So I think one of the main things that we're saying is like, you might be feeling like junk this time of year, and you might really want to just jump onto things and like, yes, I'm ready to get going, give me everything, throw it all at me, I can do it. But it always comes back to trusting in your coach and trusting in the coaching process. Or even if you've written your own training program, write it as though you're training yourself. Obviously you want professional coaches like us to be doing it for you, again, another shameless plug, and to dictate what you're doing. But you need to be making sure that you've still got tools that you can use later down the line, rather than just going 0 to 100 on kind of day one, really.
Definitely, saving your tools is key. It is key. Just to put it into perspective, I saved my tools, and I still ended up on 2 hours on a Stairmaster pre-show, which is not fun.
Yeah,
you kind of get used to it, but that's irrelevant.
Do you do the little like I call them goose kicks?
No.
1, 2.
I do the side on.
Oh, you do the side ones. Yeah. To build your booty up.
Exactly. And then they're on the Stairmaster, and I'm like, I don't want to tell them to get off,
Yeah.
but I need to get on the stairmaster. I got an hour to go.
And you're
An hour
angry
to
at this
do.
point. You're not got a lot of calories in you.
No, I'm not relatively angry in the gym.
Yeah.
I'm just hungry and tired. I want to get home to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't fun. But I saved my tools, sort of. But we're not going into me too much. But I saved them as much as possible. And I still ended up with that. And I still ended up on, I want to say 0 carbs on rest days and about, I'd love to say, I don't think it was even 50 carbs on a training day. Maybe 60, something like that.
So is that no starchy carbs? You can't starchy carbs. You're just getting carbs from veggies.
But I don't count those.
Yeah.
But
It's fibre, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like when you start doing that, then I'm going to remove that as well.
Yeah.
Whereas we know we need the micronutrients and the digestive helping supplies, but again, we're going off a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll keep it streamlined. So
Well, we can my whole thing actually. Again, we're going off tangent here. My whole thing with that is, if we're really desperate and we're having to cut down a lot of those vegetables, just take like a greens or red supplement, something like that, just to give you a little bit of a hit of something.
see, what my take is, I hate to do it. I've done it, I think, early this year. Just use lettuce.
Yeah.
It's just water.
Poverty
Cucumber.
calories, yeah.
Yeah, it's just water.
Yeah.
You could eat hundreds of grams
So
of it, as long as you
sugar-free
digest
Jell-O?
it.
Sugar-free Jell-O, yeah.
I used to put, a few years ago, it was just slice up cucumber with a bit of sweetener.
Yeah.
Job done.
Bit of cinnamon on top of that as well.
Haven't tried that,
That's a game changer.
What was it? What do they call them? Hacks. Prep hacks. There you
Prep
go.
hacks. One of my clients, Shalace Shoemaker, who's an Olympian. She's big on that one. There's some kind of weird combination between, obviously it's hardly any calories in that. Just cutting up a cucumber, put a little bit of stevia, whatever you want on top of that, Truvia, whatever, and then put a little bit of cinnamon on top of that, and it's like hardly any calories, and you get like a weird sweet fix.
Yeah,
from
because
it.
you don't have much sweet food.
Yeah.
Because obviously, just the nature of a prep. But you also get, let's say you had chicken and veg, you normally have rice or potato or something else with it. So you're eating, I find, for a longer period of time. So it's kind of good and nice to be able to crunch on something just for that little bit longer, so you feel like, and it does sort of fill a hole, along with like warm drinks and teas and coffees and obviously about the milk and stuff like that. But there's a few more hacks for you there.
As always, we're going off tangent here. We're going to be talking about New Year's hacks. Okay, I'm just going to go on to one more thing, because automatically what I see happen with a lot of people, general population, okay, it's January the 1st or whatever, all these supplement companies have massive deals on, okay, and that's because they know they're going to clean up this January, because the first thing you think about, you've not been in the gym for months, first thing you think about is, what supplements do I need? It's not what training should I do, what nutrition, what food plan. It's normally, what supplement should I have? Okay, what's your take on the whole supplements thing? Should they be jumping to supplements? I've obviously got my own views.
It reminds me, because it was Black Friday like a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I was listening to the radio, and it was like 1 in 50 deals, just in general, not supplement, just in general, are actually a deal. So they're not deals, just because they've got a big red banner and it says sales, they're not deals.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I'm going, of course. My take on supplements, depending on where you are in terms of your training and your nutrition and goals and your finances, typically I would recommend a whey protein, or if it digests well. Creatines are one of the most research supplements which works. I normally like to chuck in a good multivitamins just to cover most bases, and then from there we're looking at EAAs to help protect and help recovery during training. I think that's probably my staple for, maybe some omegas as well, but it's on a needs basis.
Yeah.
It depends on how serious, but what your goals require, basically.
And you're looking at someone's diet as well, first of all, aren't you? So
Yeah.
it's like one of the easiest things, okay, whey protein. Okay, you don't necessarily need whey protein, but it's an easy and cheap way. It's much cheaper than buying a load of chicken breast. It's a cheap way to get in the protein that you need to hit your protein goals.
It's a lot easier to get in as well.
Yeah, and whereas if you're someone that's having, I don't know, you're relying on, I don't know, eating chicken nuggets for lunch and a Subway for dinner and some Cocoa Pops or whatever for breakfast, then do you need supplements? Probably not. You probably just need to sort your diet out first, and then you need to worry about the supplements.
That is actually like the first thing to do, probably, is to start tracking what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a coffee, or maybe I was in my head, but
Throwing things in your head.
yeah,
Maybe thinking
but
coffee.
you're thinking,
run
yeah,
out.
but you're thinking people don't realize how many calories they're getting from a coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
and that croissant, and that bagel, and that packet of crisps. You need to track everything you're eating, work out what you're eating, actually, not even your baseline, because you're probably eating everything. So just work out what your calories are that you're on average every day, and then work out from there. Let's start with 10% to give people numbers to work with. 10%, 15%, reduce it, try to clean up your food sources. Don't have to be chicken and rice, it can be what you enjoy,
Yeah.
and then just go from there. See how your body adapts, be consistent, and just go from there.
I think that's the overall thing, really. Is just keep it simple. You know, I like the whole KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Keep it stupid simple.
It's a yeah. Like at the stage you might be in January, especially if you're starting from a point where you've not been in the gym consistently, you're not been eating well for the last few months, whatever period of time. Like, just do the basics, do them well. You don't need to get fancy with things. You don't need to get fancy with exercise. You don't need to get fancy with how much cardio I should be doing. What heart rate zone should I be using? You know, what exact calories and macronutrients should I be using? Just find a simple starting point
And be consistent.
Yeah, and be consistent with it. And only when you get to the point where things stop working, yeah, sure, okay, you might need to think about that a little bit more, okay? And this is probably a plug against coaching, okay? But if you're not already kind of building some kind of consistency in there with doing some basics, then you probably don't need kind of the coach to get to the next level necessarily. You just need to be getting in the gym, just ticking some boxes, getting to a certain point, just work with the basics. And then, yeah, when you get to the point where you want to take that to the next level, sure, you know, reach out, work with a coach, etc.
Yeah, because I love when I've had a new client, and they've already weighed their food, they're already tracking their training, they're already doing all those basics, and now it's just my job to tighten things up. It's just they're at that starting point. So if you're not there, just get there. But it moves on to probably the first point we should have started with, which is calories in versus calories out. You want to lose weight, you need to be expending more than you're putting in. So you might want to explain that to the.
I think we can chat
public.
about that on another podcast. I think we need to do a podcast on fat loss or something, because we can talk forever. The idea behind this one was to keep this nice, short and sweet. So I think it's a good place to probably end this on a bit of a cliffhanger. So next time we'll maybe chat about calories in, calories out versus meal plans. Maybe I don't know.
Rather than fat loss mistakes, what should you do to make the most effective prep? I'm just going to call it a prep.
Yeah.
You might not be in a prep, but the most effective fat loss journey for you.
Yeah, well, look, let us know, guys. Drop a comment below. Let us know if you think that's a good topic, or any other topic you want us to cover.
Or any other guests you want on. Yeah.
Guests, because that's something that we're going to be doing. Obviously, most of the time it's just going to be me and James just chatting rubbish, going off tangent and chatting about random things that we probably didn't need to. But that's part of the fun, just sitting down and chatting.
I think I had loads of thoughts and loads of mistakes, but yeah, I know this one's getting on a bit, so we'll reconvene.
End it here. Anyway, guys, chat to you soon.